Hello and welcome to Football Fanatics. I'm your host Vincent, and today we're going over Justin Fields' first NFL start. Let's jump straight into it with the first play, and here will be one of the few times he actually gets good protection. He goes through that, gets a good drop, goes from first read to second read right there, doesn't like it, takes off, runs, gets like 8, maybe 7. They end up picking that first down. So here you have Jason Peters on top going against Jadeveon Clowney and just never gets blocked. He had less than 2 seconds, no help on the inside, and he's just sacked. And this is why you don't want to have this offensive line block for Fields, because they just don't block for that long. And Dalton has the quicker snap to release time, and that's a lot more important for this team than it is a lot of other teams, just because their offensive line is that bad. So coming up here on 3rd and 22, we have the tight end tight end Kmet there on top. He's just gonna do a little hook route, get the post in route from that slot receiver, pick up a couple. Now, even here, look at this offensive line. Still Clowney's getting pressure. It's just not a good thing to see pressure coming in that unbelievably quick. So that they would end up punting, getting the ball back, game's tied at 3. Or they probably kicked a field goal, pardon me. But so here, if we look on top, we have Kmet at tight end there. Now he will end up blocking that defensive end. And that leaves JOK, who was in man coverage with Kmet, free to come in on the blitz because his man is blocking. Now, the left tackle, Jason Peters, does not understand this at all and goes in and helps the guard on that D tackle, which is kind of confusing why you go and help your offensive lineman and not your tight end. But still, I would think if you're starting in the NFL, especially for a playoff hopeful team like the Bears, that you would understand what your tight end is doing and what that could lead to from the linebackers. Because watch up top here. Just goes in. Now, Fields never felt this pressure, but they had a guy to pick him up. If the left tackle just sits there, he's in the perfect spot to block JOK, and then it's at least a tight end losing that battle. It's not, a free running linebacker coming in, but why did they leave? Let's jump back. Why did they leave Kmet alone to block Jason Garrett? That's beyond me, but so here, they're going to have Jason Peters here go and attempt a cut block on Myles Garrett. Now, I believe this ball probably should be coming out to the check down here up top right about now. But for whatever reason, Fields tries to go and make a play, unable to do it. And that's just one of the things he's going to have to learn. Here, you either have to find this check down to Kmet, or you have to go up to your running back and find that check down right about there if you are not hitting Mooney on that big crossing route, or big post, whatever that is, coming over the middle. If you don't like that, you're going to want to be going to the flats right about here. And it's 3rd and 14, he goes off, tries to make a play, unable to do it, gets sacked. That would bring up 4th down where they probably punt. They got rid of it. So, coming up here on their 3rd drive. So, he gets the play fake, looks at the bottom, he gets it off to Mooney. Now, look at this. Clowney still getting pressure around the right tackle, Germain Ifedi. And that was probably as fast as you could get rid of that ball, because it was just a little 5-yard hook route, and he's still getting hit. which is something the Bears really need to work on, is just that offensive line. Just, I don't know how you fix it in midseason, just because there's not guys really available. It's not like a running back where you can pick one up midseason. But you just gotta be better. So here, we get this Kyle Shanahan run scheme where your entire offensive line blocks right like it's a run, and you come out with a play fake. Now that actually does eat up everybody. And on top, you see that receiver there standing, that is Robinson. He has run a little 5-yard hook route. He'll do it that same hook route again, turn around, catch the ball, get it to second down in inches. And that is a huge play. Just something I wanted to see more of is just these big, nice play action. Because if you could, that will help your running game and your passing game and just prevent Fields from having to hold the ball. Because he does not like getting rid of the ball too fast. But, yeah, if going on, you just sails the ball. I don't know. I've watched this like 20 times at this point. Gets the play fake. I think he just missed it. And if you look at that foot, it's not going right at Mooney. It's going a little off to the left. So I'm thinking that's what caused him to sail it, is just his lead foot not going right at the receiver. Tried to compensate and couldn't. But yeah, I just don't understand what went wrong on that play to sail that route so much. So here, they do have pressure. He steps up. Now here, if you watch Kmet on the bottom, who's like lined up as that slot receiver, he, like, let's assume that he's going to either that hook or that over. Now, both of those are covered. Now, if he comes here, he could try and throw this ball to Kmet, be safe with it on 3rd and 6, and it will give you a chance to pick up a first down. However, he goes off and tries to run, ends up getting nothing, and that's Myles Garrett's, I think, 2nd and a half sack right there. And that would lead to halftime. But it's one of those, if he were to throw that ball right, not there. If he were to throw if he comes, okay, right here, you hit the back of your drop. He does step up to evade pressure. Now, 2 of his guys failed to block there. But here, you want to reset quickly and get the ball out. You don't want to try and go look to run. And if you are looking to run, you'd want to look to run on the other side, because if you look at the shoulder pads of your center, his right shoulder is farther upfield, which means you want to go off his right shoulder, not his left, but just something you got to work on as you learn to play in this league. So here, we got Kmet on we got a little curl flat thing going on top. Kmet here with the curl. Now, this is the first play after halftime. I'm thinking they told Fields to get rid of the ball quicker. And despite there being 2.5 guys right there, he's just throwing this ball blindly. Instead of throwing the easy ball, if he throws this ball like on the 23, 22, 22.5 yard line to the top, it's an easy catch for your running back. He can catch it in stride, hopefully make a play on a linebacker, get you 3 to 5 yards, make it second and shorter. But here he has to fire it. He has to be safe, so he just kind of fires it by Kmet, not even at Kmet. One of those that you need to see him going through the progression. You can't see. And here again, we'll have that double in route up top. And here he catches it. He hits the back of his drop. Now here he waits. He probably could see both of them. Now, if you look, that outside receiver Robinson is a lot more open than that inside receiver Mooney. Still tries to throw it to Mooney, almost intercepted by the D lineman. If he goes to that second read, it's an easier throw, probably a completion. Also, just a question, it's 2nd down and 10. why are you going empty? Like, your offensive line is already struggling to block. And yet you choose on 2nd down and 10. You want to know what will help this? Going with 5 wide receivers. Now you do have Kmet in there, but he's running a route. So, like, 5 routes, almost gets hit, and that's part of the reason that he's having these, like, locked in first reads. It's just because he doesn't have time. So here, they're like, okay, 5-man pass protection did not work. We're going to have Kmet chip Clowney on the end. We're going to go, then he'll go out. Then we'll have 6-man protection, kind of 6.5 when you count in that chip. Now, they're trying to work this ball down the field. Now, you just didn't have time because your right tackle, Jermaine Offetti, can't block, and the Browns defender gets there, makes the sack. Like, and that isn't even anything too special of a pass rush. Like, how many times don't we see this, and then the tackle will just push that edge rusher behind Fields. Fields can step up, like, and he does. Fields does get that step up, but Offetti just unable to get the push, and it's a sack. And nothing that Fields can do there, but if you don't start getting better offensive line play, I don't know how you are going to solve this issue. So here we get another Kyle Shanahan-esque play-action boot. Everyone goes left. Now he's working this comeback to the right. He outruns Clowney. Just a great play there by Greg Newsome III. First-round pick versus first-round pick. It's a good throw. Great defense. That'll happen sometimes. You just got to learn to deal with it. So here, they're like, you want to know what? Going empty seems to be our style here. Like, I don't care Fields is dying out there. And that allows Clowney and this other edge rusher, I think that's Garrett, but I don't know, to get such wide stances. If you have a tight end in there, even if this tight end comes off and just chips Clowney on top, you have such a better chance of completion. And Kmet, like, he's probably not your first read, so he can get that chip and get out into into the flats, maybe catch a ball and pick up 7, make it 3rd, and maybe we go for it here, but they go empty, 5-man pass rush, you get the stunt, nothing there. At this point, like, Garrett will end up chasing him down. You do have that stunt, but, like, it's a 5-man pass rush versus a obvious 5-man pass protection. And here, the right guard, James Daniel, just unable to block that inside move by Myles Garrett. Will bring up 4th down. They will end up having to punt. You only had, like, 2.25-ish seconds, which is tough when you are in your debut to get the ball out in 2.25 seconds. You just can't. You gotta have more time than that. So, here we got Jimmy Graham here coming to the flats. Get the play fake. Now here, I don't know what that was, because here, if he just pulls up right there and dumps it to the flat, with how this defender edge rusher's leaning, if he throws this ball, the edge rusher's not going to get there. And then you don't have to do this weird, like, jump and try and work it across your body. You can just pull up here, like, just pull up, yep. And if he just throws that ball, you're getting it around Garrett there. Graham has an you have a much easier throw to make, which will mean that it's less likely to be there where it's just out of his grasp. And that will allow Jimmy Graham a better opportunity to make the play. But again, glad to see them working in this play action. Drop ball. I think that was the last pass. Nope. Here on 2nd down. Here, get the play fake. You Now, Peters, watch Peters. He gets this double team block, right? Now, first off, he's more than 1 yard down the field. This should be flagged for an eligible man downfield. They do escape that. However, Peters is not supposed to be 2 yards downfield, and because of that, Fields just throws it right into him, right off Peters for an incomplete pass, and that leaves Robinson like, I don't know, what are we doing here, man? Which is like the 4th or 5th times that Peters has really negatively impacted this Bears offense. First time he's actually played defense, but it's not the first time that he's really hurt Fields. Like, at this point, can we just not have him out there? Can we run a 4-man pass protection? So here we have a hook to Robinson, just a nice little bottom route to the bottom half of the screen. Like, he gets his back foot in the ground, opens up, good throw, gets a first down on 3rd and 10, did not hold the ball. Really nice to see that, to see him get the ball out of his hand. Now, if you look here, if we go back, now, again, here they actually hold a back in. Now, on 3rd and 10, you're going to see some more bizarre looks. Now, those 5 guys are coming with a stunt from the 2 guys up top. Additionally, you get the slot cornerback blitz and that stand-up linebackers dropping out. Your D-line has already not looked that, or offensive line has already not looked that great. Now, this stunt gets picked up. Slot corner does come free. Good job by Fields to get it out. But you have no drifting at all. Because if you look, your running back here is going down to the bottom of the screen, okay, to help Chip Garrett. Now, you're going to have to trust your left tackle and your center to get blocks. But if you do, you can take your drop slightly going left. Now, he's on the left hash. He stays right on that left hash. I would like to see him end up with his right foot probably maybe down at the bottom of that train track, not at the top of the train track, because that'll just make it farther for your right tackle to go, and you're hoping that your running back can get a chip on Garrett and the ball's coming out fast enough that with a chip it's basically a double team block. But here, 3-man pass rush, 1st and 10. He looks, now he decides that's not what he wants to do. Throws it to the flat. Good play by JOK there. Great linebacker. Gonna be tough to get anything in the flats, but you get 5-ish yards. Gets you eventually to a 2nd and 10. You do have a bit more time with a 3-man pass rush. Maybe could have done something. Here you're gonna get a zone read. He sees the end come up, slides, nothing there. JOK again on that stop. One of the better picks of the draft. So, here you're going to get another naked bootleg. Now, I'm guessing they didn't run this ball enough because, he just wasn't surprised by it. Now, he tries to stop, and this is that whole thing about just kind of dump it over the top. Because he tried to stop, ends up slipping, gives up the sack. Here, if he boots, sees this, gets his hip, or gets that hips turned around, and just dumps it over to Kmet, you have a one-on-one race towards the sideline. Maybe you pick up 2-3 yards, make it a 3rd and short. Because he tried to stop, he slips, ends up bringing up a big 3rd down. Part of that's just, rookie mistakes, but a lot of that is because they have to continue running these weird play actions, these weird pass protection look, because their pass protection just isn't there. So here, he gets to the back of his drop, little drift there. Now, his right tackle, Affetti, already losing. Here he manages to get that last second push, gets it to the running back Montgomery in the flats, makes it to 4th and short. They end up kicking that field goal. You can debate that, but here you have a failed comeback, or jumping to the next drive, excuse me. You have a failed comeback to the top side of the screen. Right there. Just good coverage. Now, good news is you have 7-man pass protection. And you do get, like, he has a clean pocket. Now, your issue is you have a 7-man pass protection versus a 4-man rush. Which means you are playing 3-on-7 in the secondary, which is just not a numbers advantage you want to play with wide receivers versus defenders, like linebackers and DBs. But you did get your protection. You needed far too many bodies to get that protection, but you got protection. I'm glad to see you finally get. Here they're going to go back to this empty look because they want to kill me. They want to watch Fields die. Not even going to put out a running back and say maybe he might chip somebody. Maybe he might chip somebody and leave. Graham doesn't chip anybody. Gets the protection. Now, here they are going with a slot out from where this outside receiver to the top is just going to run a fade down the field. Now, this slot receiver is supposed to kind of like sell an in, make sure that he can get that break to the outside hard and get open. Nice man coverage beater. He beats that man coverage, just unable to get that throw. Great play by the Will there, the Will linebacker. Just one of those good throw, good defense. Here, they go with this run, zone read to the outside. Did not do this a ton throughout, like, just the entire game. Even the gives that they did. Wanted to see that more, because that's something that Fields is super comfortable running. It got them 4 yards, and if they started doing that more, it would take some of this pressure off the line to block, because then the ends have to be a little bit more careful of those quarterback keepers. Here on the bottom, we have an out route to Kmet with a little post from that slot receiver over the top. Now, they will get another failed stun on the inside, because if you watch, Garrett has beaten his guy to the inside. Outside guy whips around. Because if you watch Garrett, see, inside move, unable to pass it off. Both guys get there. And then in the secondary, Kmet, little spin move to the outside, just unable to get open. Had to throw it with the stunt coming. Good job by Fields, honestly, to get that ball out of there and not take another sack. And the sacks really aren't his fault. Like, it's not like he's holding the ball for 9 hours back there. Some of them were kind of his fault, but he did not play like a 9-sack type of a game. However, I'm glad to see 9 sacks rather than 9 interceptions. So, I guess that there is the good thing out of that. So here we have a little slant by the top guy with a flat coming underneath. Just a nice little quick throw there. Now, what is this footwork? Because he catches the ball, sets his back foot, and then he just waits. There was no hitch. There was nothing. I want to see at least a hitch there. Keep your feet moving, because that's what every quarterback does. I don't know what that weird no movement of the feet were, but good defense. You're going up against the Browns. Could be making a big playoff push. Gonna happen sometimes. So here, now you have this double mug look, right? Now, what I would personally do is flip Montgomery. Like, if I was Fields, I have Montgomery quick flip to the other side of me, right? Then have him go and get that chip on Myles Garrett. Now, that would allow me to have the center designate this top guy as the middle linebacker. I trust Daniels to or excuse me, Whitehair to make this block on the Clowney, it looks like. And then we got the chip in Peters versus that edge rusher is probably Garrett. Now, that leaves the 2 guys on the bottom to take on those 3 guys. Now, to combat this, I'm going to roll out left and play some sort of look on that trips up top, because you have a 3-on-2 up there. Now, how they decide to try and defend this is just by going 5-man, or to block this up is 5-man pass protection, and, Peters just watch this. Peters, he just never flips to this outside guy until it's too late. Garrett ends up chasing him down because he is an edge rusher and just that athletic. Because Garrett or Peters is worried about Clowney for whatever reason. And he just never flipped to Garrett until right there. And at that point, he just doesn't have a good enough angle to get to Garrett. That leads to the sack. Not Fields' fault. He did try and run it. He did not get it out of it, but that's not his fault. One of those tough things. Here, 1st down and 10. Now, you get a nice little fake chip by Montgomery. Turn around, get the screen, let him work. That is what you want to see, especially now that you can't get pass protection. Really glad to see that go, getting screens and stuff. But here, he passes on the first read, tries to get to this running back off that weird chip. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah right there to make that defense. One of those tough plays. You're going against a good linebacker coming out. Already a pro-ready guy. Now here, Daniels, this left guard who looked good most of the game, just going to miss that block. Ends up that he has to try and go to the side. I think that was a throwaway just after, because he gets out of this pressure. He sees Garrett coming. He just threw that one away is my guess. Good job. That's as good as you can get for Fields. No time in the pocket whatsoever. That's about as best you can hope for. And here, second to last play, you have yet another time where they try and go 6-man protection here at least. Now here, gets the ball. Now, on 3rd down and 10, they actually have a clean pocket here. He can step up into this throw. Now, mainly because of the pressure he has felt all game, he tries to roll out. Now that allows Clowney to have a more direct route. Good catch by Robinson. Out of bounds, though, incomplete. Brought up 4th down and 10. One of those that maybe it's a little bit easier of a throw if he stays in the pocket, but it's tough to trust your pocket when they've let you down so many times. And here on 4th and 10, Peters on the top there, whiffs. Garrett almost there, ends up Clowney gets him, and that would turn over the ball. They never get it back. And that was just kind of the story of the game. No offensive line protection. And that's why I don't want to see Fields out there again, is if you continue to roll him out versus these teams, he's going to learn to not trust his O-line, which, when hopefully you improve your offensive line, is going to be really bad, where he'll start bailing from clean pockets and throwing the ball early when he doesn't have to. Which is why I'd stick Andy Dalton. And if Andy Dalton's still hurt next week, who's your 3rd guy? I don't know. Whoever he is, I'd stick him in there. Just because I don't want to ruin Fields by sticking him out there. Also, this offensive line is not built for Fields because they are not built to protect for 3 to 5 seconds, which is what Fields will need. So I'd just put Fields on the sideline, let him learn, give him 4 to 5 weeks. If he shows that Andy Dalton's ability to get rid of the ball quickly, then I might consider sticking him in. Other than that, I probably would go and let him wait on the sideline. Wait till next year, pick up a guy in the draft, probably a left tackle, but pick up one, maybe two guys in this next upcoming draft. Maybe free agent a guy, give Fields a better opportunity to at least have some protection coming into next year. In that way, Fields is not going to be killed as much next year. Now, it is a Browns defense that has a good pass rush, but even if the pass rush wasn't this good and half this good, that's still too much pressure to put a rookie quarterback under every play to know that, hey, I'm going to get hit every time I take this drop back. I need to get rid of this ball before the pressure gets there, which is true for every quarterback, but it's more true for the Bears quarterback just because of how bad their O-line is. But so other than that, Fields looked good on the times that he had protection, except at the end when he just had to throw the ball. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching, and see ya.